I felt so touched because the girl was on slippers. She was wearing like an uniform. She was looking, and it was not in a good condition to a somebody who is traveling back to his motherland. She traveled back home in a good clothing with a salary. We don't have an embassy in Bahrain. We as a representatives, we don't receive any money from the government of Kenya.
That budget that they bring to take us to a restaurant to eat and listen, we need that money to be put into something sensible, like helping out Kenyans.
We didn't have a budget that it was catered by the government of Kenya, and this is the rescue food or amount to the people of Bahrain.
Thank you so much for joining us once more on the Daring the Desert show. My name is Esther Leah, and I'm honored to have you on viewing my show. I'm honored for having your comments, I'm honored for having your subscriptions, and I'm honored for you sharing the show. Thank you so much. As you know, on this show, we are talking about Bahrain, how to come to Bahrain, how to get jobs in Bahrain, and all how to live in Bahrain, and all information that you need about Bahrain. People are coming here, they're sharing their experiences and also their advices on the show. So thank you so much, and we are honored to have you as our viewer. So today I am talking to one very humble man who has been in Bahrain for 15 years, and he will share with us his experiences, his journey, and he will also as well advise us on more information. Thank you so much for availing yourself and joining us on this show.
Thank you, Esther Leon. You've been a good friend for a number of years now. And to our viewers in Darling platform, first of all is to thank you for being watching and supporting this channel. And it's my humble request that you can subscribe and support this dream for Esther, and so that we can have a better tomorrow. And thank you so much. My name is Evangelist George.
How did being a Kenyan representative of the embassy start? Where did it start, and how have you been working on that?
Thank you, Esther. I think I was called by God since I was born. I never wanted to see a tear of anyone or anyone grieved. I never wanted to see anyone being violated his rights, because I feel that God created us in his own likeness. All of us, neither for those who have money and those who does not, we are the image of God. It is that reason driving me when I came in Bahrain. I remember one time I was at the airport. I was seeing off my friend who was going for a vacation, and I found one girl who was wearing a slippers, carrying a small bag, and I could see she was stressed, and because she looked to be like a Kenyan because of the color, I said hi, Jambo, and she replied Jambo, Mzuri. So I found she's a Kenyan. So I asked her what was the problem. She told me that she's going for a vacation. She's been deported by the sponsor by force. I felt so touched because the girl was on slippers. She was wearing like an uniform, an prison, housemaid uniform. And the way she was looking, it was impresentable, or not presentable. She was looking, it was not in a good condition to a somebody who is traveling back to his motherland. The sponsor was very angry on me. He asked me, why am I speaking to this girl, and he's the boss? I said, I'm a Kenyan, and we are in the airport. I don't see any violation to say hi to my Kenyan. Esther was grieved to see that girl, and the way the sponsor attended to me, I felt was not honorable, because I was a Kenyan. He was supposed to welcome me warmly and to know why I said hi to the girl. So when I see that the sponsor is like angry on me, I found no, this is my Kenyan. I see she's not in good condition. So I told the girl, don't panic. I am your Kenyan. Tell me the problem you have before traveling. I can help you. I came to realize that she was not paid a salary, I think, for 3 months. I requested the sponsor in the immediate effect to give the girl the money before traveling back home. Then the sponsor hesitated. I spoke with the police in the airport. I told them the problem. As I told you, the institution of the government in Bahrain works very well. They listened to me, they listened to the girl, and they requested the sponsor to pay the money before the girl travels. And we stopped the girl to travel that particular day. We went to the nearest police station. I made sure that the girl had been paid the money. And later she changed the clothes, and then she traveled back home in a good clothing with the salary. From that day, when I went back home, that thing bothered me. I found a sleepless nights, but I could not do much because remember, I am a Kenyan. I don't have any identification of the government or any way I could be able to do anything. So I started to know there is some people with some challenges. I started to go on the ground, reaching people, talking to people, encouraging them. Remember, I'm still a minister of the word, so I could just minister also through the word of God, telling them that there is a hope of tomorrow. Through that operation and commitment, the people started to know me, and I engaged also Kenyans, those who were there before me. There is some Kenyans, those who are in the helping Kenyans as well. I engaged them. They educated me how they are doing things. I shared a great experience. I got a great experience from them. And that is how I started to work for Kenyans freely without any money. And in that giving myself to help Kenyans in Bahrain, it put me in a very huge problem one day when a sponsor asked me about the documentation.
Okay. That's what I was going to
ask. I found that I don't have a documentation. I was helping one girl from one police station. The police, they could understand me that I'm coming as an aid, not because of any expectation from the girl, neither any financial expectation. They told me, George, we will advise you talk with your embassy. They come in to help you what you are doing. What you are doing is good, but you don't have the documentation to do so. We will allow you to go, but be careful, because if the sponsor can want to put a case against you, he have a right to do so. So at that time, I remember the first ambassador, we expressed together now with the team, we told them what we are going through, because now we started to work with the other Kenyans as a team.
And because we don't have an embassy.
Now the embassy gave us a letter just to authorize us. And let me come back step behind to tell you how we get to the letter. We as a representative, we say that we were working anyone on his own way. Now we came together to gather our strength together. We called the Kenyans. They elected their leaders. So I, as a representative, I was voted by a majority of Kenyans, those who were at that time, and they gave me a mandate to do what I do. And it is that unity that we came together. We spoke to the embassy. We told them now we are organized and we want to help our Kenyans freely in anything that needed our participation. The embassy gave us just an A4 paper letter. We started to work with it, helping our Kenyans. That is through grievances. Maybe somebody want to travel and he is stuck in Bahrain. Maybe someone is sick. They can be domestic worker or any other skilled worker, and they are stranded. So we are coming in to go to the hospital to listen what they want. If they want to communicate with the family, we come in to communicate with the family. And to make it short, it reached a place that our letter could not be acceptable, because they said anyone can print this letter. How can we differentiate you from somebody pretending to be? We went again back to the embassy. We said, see, now we want to help freely, but we are limited because of the documentation.
Yeah.
So again, the embassy, they were listening to us because whatever we were doing, it was genuine.
Yeah.
And it was all about helping.
Yeah.
So they gave us business cards.
Yeah.
Then we continued working. And to make it shortly again, the business cards, it reached a place because of our cases, it was coming more numbers. Yeah. Now the police stations, they told us, no, you have to upgrade your game. So these business cards, it is good, but anyone can print any business card. So can you have an ID and communication with your embassy to communicate with the government of Bahrain to make you legit, so that if there is any case arises, we can be able to know your names.
Yeah.
Again, we went to a drawing board with our representatives. We called the embassy in, they listened to us, and then they verified our request. Okay. They gave us now an ID that today I have it as a representative, and our names are verified by the government of Bahrain. It was sent in the embassy of Bahrain in Kuwait, and again in the foreign affairs in Bahrain. So today, I as a representative, it is through documentation and verification from the government of Kenya that you can maybe ask me how that does it cover me. What does it mean? Yeah. That it means I can enter in the police station, receive the documentation like the passports and everything, and I can stand as a as a representative of the embassy which is in Kuwait. One, by renewing the passports. If there is a passport that need to be renewed, we can receive it as a representative, and we send it to our office in Kuwait. Yeah. Second, with this ID, I can enter in police station, receive or share any grievances of our Kenyans, yeah, officially on behalf of the embassy. Yeah. And that, we can enter in the hospital and be given any information to be released to us that we can share with the embassy. Fourth, anyone who dies in Bahrain, we can enter in any mortuary, in every CID office. With this ID, we will be given access. And we have been doing these things. There are some people, they have passed in Bahrain. We help our embassy to do the clearance on the ground. That is by taking the documents from one office to another, and again sending papers back to them for verification, and again back to the government of Bahrain. So we are like we are the carrier of those documents. We don't stamp, we don't do any signatures. Our work is to receive and give. Okay. So that is how we help.
From which year were you given the authorization and the cards to work as representatives here in Bahrain?
I started to serve Kenyans in the year 2008, heading to 009 there. The first year there was no any recognition. And the year 2010, we got the first letter to authorize us to work as the representatives. Then later, after I think 2 years, we got the business cards. Now I have served Kenyans in Bahrain for 14 good years as a representative. And last, I think 4 years ago, that is when we get the ID itself. And that is when our names were sent to the Foreign Affairs. But in total, I have served and been recognized as a government, by the government of Kenya, around 13 years. Without counting this 1 year, I worked without any recognition.
Okay. So, how much help are we as Kenyans getting from an embassy? You as our representatives, how much help are we getting now? Is it easier for us?
I think it is a great effort having representative in Bahrain, comparing with the Middle East countries, those does not have representatives. Me as vice chair of Kenyan community, I can say that we have played a very big part, considering that we don't have an embassy in Bahrain, and we have managed to handle hard times and soft times. When I say that is, We have managed to clear people from hospitals. We have managed to renew the passports of Kenyans, those who are stuck in Bahrain. In general, I can say that we have played a big role, a big task, even when the government, our government, that is the embassy, want to come for Huduma. We played a very big role in Huduma time. We prepared on the ground, and the embassy came in. They found everything is on set. Anytime we have like an event, we are the people preparing on the ground. The embassy will come in. They find that everything was needed. We have done it. In terms of if there's somebody have died in Bahrain, we are the people talking to the family, to the agent, to the company, to the family back home, and we give the report back to the embassy. So again, that is another part we as a representative we carry on. And most important thing people they don't understand is that sometimes we don't sleep.
Yeah.
And this is a hidden effort that many Kenyans they don't understand. In two scenarios, we as a representative for good 14 years, the embassy of Kuwait and Kenyan government, they have never paid us even a single shilling. We do this voluntarily.
I was actually going to ask you,
yes,
does the Kenyan embassy have a kitty for the representatives here in Bahrain?
I will answer that by two scenarios, if you allow me. One, we are representatives. What does the law of Bahrain says? Because also we go by the law.
Okay.
The law of Bahrain does not allow you to occupy two jobs.
Okay.
Unless the embassy takes me as a full liaison officer, as a consulate, and they pay me.
Yeah.
That time they will pay me.
Yeah.
Because the law of Bahrain says you have to work for one company without earning from another company.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless the embassy want to give us a token, arriving token.
Yeah.
So by saying so, we as a representatives, we don't receive any money from the government of Kenya. We are doing voluntarily. We are giving money from our own pockets. We are running from one police station to another. We are running to the hospitals. And I as a leader, the people, they know that whenever they have a group, WhatsApp group, they know Georgie must be there. And they're expecting I have to contribute. Those are the main challenges we go through. Because even if when there is a people in jail, on the hospital, or you fight someone on the way, does not have food, he or she will come and tell you, Georgie, I don't have something to eat. Because he know or she know that you are a representative. Many Kenyans in Bahrain, they believe that we get paid. And when they see, when I have a suit, they know this guy have a good token from the government of Kenya.
But if you're not being, we are not even talking about being paid as a salary, but even as an allowance to help you move from one point to the other. Now, you have been meeting with the ambassador and people from the embassy in Kuwait. Have you talked about this with them? Because at least,
and that is why I wanted to give you now the point number 2. That's why I said I will give you in 2 versions. One, it is because we are representatives and the law of the land does not allow us to gain other income as long as we are employed. You have to choose one side. That is one version. Second, by answering that, we had a discussion with the embassy, and we know embassy is a part of an office from the government of Kenya. If the budget from Nairobi does not cater for them, something to do with Bahrain, they cannot give us anything. So they are responsible. If we have event, they do sponsor the event, like the way we have Kenya's night, or the time you see the embassies coming and we are in a hotel eating together, they carry that budget, they pay. Because also the office budget of embassy, they go accordance with the direction from the main office, that is the government of Kenya. So by answering your question, they go by the budget. There is no budget to support or to pay representatives. The budget which the embassy have is to support the events. A lot of you see some areas we have to come in as a representative to use our own money.
George, to be very, very, very honest.
Okay.
Kenyans in Bahrain do not need an event to eat. Honestly, all we want, that budget that they bring to take us to a restaurant to eat and listen, we need that money to be put into something sensible, like helping out Kenyans. It's very logic. Instead of having, sitting down and giving us, inviting us for dinner because the ambassador is coming here, it will make more sense if that money is taken and used in assisting Kenyans. Now, I will take you back onto something very, that I wish that this is what happened. During Corona time, a lot of Kenyans lost jobs. And first, it started with salaries were slashed. Second, they lost jobs, so they were left without anywhere to stay.
Yes.
A lot of Kenyans were trying to get themselves legalized here in the kingdom.
Yes.
And thank God to the Bahraini, government, they allowed everybody who was not regularized, they gave us, time to regularize our status, and they also reduced so much on the amount of money used to regularize ourselves. Now, the Kenyan embassy in Kuwait, which is supposed to be serving the people in Bahrain, did not come in to support. We saw a lot, Filipino government helping a lot of Filipinos to legalize them. But the Kenyan embassy did not do anything. And then after all this, they come back and say, oh, we are coming to visit you in Bahrain, we want to do dinner. You tell me in a very sincere way, do you think which one would have been a priority? Dinner or helping people legalize?
Okay, thank you. Let me go back one step so that I can reach to answer that question. I will go back to the budget, and the same, I will answer one question before coming to that so that we can go to the same page. Many Kenyans, they believe that we are getting some token from the embassy. I wanted to confirm that we don't receive any money, and whatever we are doing, it is voluntarily from our heart. Now, let us come about the budget. When we negotiated with the embassy, there is a protocol of the budget that they have been given for each country. Now, the event that we have, sometimes it is bringing the Kenyans together, oversee or researching what really Kenyans need. And it is also important to have such an event so that you Kenyans can come in and say, His Excellency Ambassador, this is, or Her Excellency Ambassador, this is what we want as Kenyans. So the reason why they bring that event, it is for you Kenyans to speak out and say, this is what we want and this is what we feel. So when you Kenyans, you come and you eat and you don't talk, then the blame will not go to the embassy. Because the embassy have prepared, they have paid the cost. It is for you Kenyans to stand strong and say, I will raise my hand, I want this and this to be done, and we put some days we want a reply on that. So our Kenyans in Bahrain, maybe sometimes they fail to express themselves, I don't know, because of fear or lack of understanding. But I want to put this as an open space. Any other time we have an event, it is your right time as a Kenyan, you have a right to say how you feel. So the reason why the embassy, they have that budget is for Kenyans to be given an opportunity to come to express themselves. Second point is that we have negotiated with our ambassador, and she's our mom. She is listening, and we are waiting soon to have more events in Bahrain. It is good to have that an idea that not always to have food. It is good to have an event. And I will take back you in the time of Corona time. We did a lot of effort, and I don't want to direct this to our embassy, because also they are relying with the government. Because if the government does not provide, they will not also provide. Yeah. We understand them. Yeah. But this point goes also to our government in Kenya, that they must have a kit of those who are working in Bahrain by providing the embassy, not only Kuwait embassy, but the embassy of that land with enough resources for the people, those who are in that land, because also they are sending money back home. Yeah, exactly. We are making the revenue in our government. Yeah. So we cannot put all the blame to the embassy. Yeah. Let us direct our claim to our embassy, to our government, to provide the embassy with the resources.
I think it's time that the government of Kenya recognizes Kenyans working in Bahrain.
Yeah, so let me come to the time of Corona. We did a great job as representatives, and our Kenyans out there, they understand. Many, they were stopped from the companies. We went aloud to the goodwill of people. We collected foods, and we managed to feed our Kenyans. Nobody died in Bahrain. Nobody stayed in the house without food. Yeah. Unless somebody will prove me wrong. We went door to door, feeding them with food. I remember that time I was putting food on my car, going loud from one door to those who are not working, distributing food, collecting the names for those who have not food. And we were communicating with our embassy. They were aware of what we are doing. But one thing, it was too heavy to our ambassador. It is that he didn't have a budget from Nairobi, what to give to us.
So all this thing was done by the Kenyans in Bahrain.
Representatives.
In Bahrain.
Yes.
But you did not get any money from the embassy in Kuwait.
No, we didn't. Yeah.
And the excuse is that there was no...
It was about the budget.
The budget.
Yeah, it was all about the budget. They didn't have a budget that it was catered by the government of Kenya. And this is the rescue food or amount to the people of Bahrain. But one thing we would thank our embassy is that they came in by supporting us through logistics, giving us support in case of anything analysis, to communicate with them. They helped us with the traveling document for those who are stuck. They needed to travel very quickly. They printed out the traveling documents, and they helped also our Kenyans to go back home safely. Those who are not working and they wanted to go home, some of them, they didn't have a passport. So the embassy came in by providing the required documents to enable Kenyans to travel back home successfully. So we can say through the documentation, because of the power that the government have given them, they exercised their powers accordingly. It's only that we failed about feeding our people.
If I can get it clearly, it's that the Kuwait embassy, they always depend on the government.
Yes.
And we depend on them to talk to the government. So how much do you think that they need to, how much effort do they need to put on our behalf to the Kenyan government so that we can have recognition in Bahrain?
I think now, Esther, we are 7,000 Kenyans in Bahrain. And such a multitude of people, it will require more attention.
Absolutely.
And I don't think our embassy in Kuwait, without representatives, they can be able to manage this huge number, having no person on the ground. Yeah. And that's why I'm taking you back the importance of representatives in Bahrain, the importance why we should have a consulate in Bahrain. Because let us talk sincerely, the work we are doing, it is equal. It is equal to the consulate, but we are not getting paid.
Yeah.
It is voluntarily because our people, they need this help. But my question is, how many times an officer will come from Kuwait regularly to Bahrain? So that's why they require representatives on the ground. Yeah. But now with the huge issues and needs, renewing of the government, the documents, require of the business communication between the government to government, I feel it requires a consulate, even an embassy in Bahrain. And again, also, I want to thank the current ambassador. She is doing a lot of effort, and she have given a good promise to us that she's coming to the ground very soon, after this election is done. to have some events, and she is now credited by the government of Bahrain. So, and there is expectations, Esther, maybe in a very near future, maybe we're gonna have a good news for like a consulate or a more structural thing that it will help us and again exhaust the energy from the representatives. As I said earlier, we work too much because remember I am working in a private company, and I'm expected after work I'm going to work for the cases for free. I am using my money to call. I am using my money to fuel my car. Sometimes even I don't have some lunch or a dinner because in fact, I mean, you see, I'm calling up in a police station. I'm closing the work 4:30. Then I will go to a police station. I will finish the case at 9. What time will I cook for myself? Sometimes I have to take food on my way. It's also a cost. I like cooking in the house because also for the to save my budget. But now I'm go extra mileage to buy my food on the way, and maybe to buy an extra portion for the girl who I have rescued from a police station. So all these resources coming from my pocket. But if there is a consular or consulate, that budget on my side, it will reduce. Also time, it will reduce, and work effort will be added for the advantage of our people. So it is time, the time have come, also for the government of Kenya, those who are in institution, you need to give our embassy more support, more resources, and again, if it is important to deliver a consulate or a structure that can work more better than representatives, because we as a representatives sometimes we find challenges. When we are going to deal with the cases, we need to go to the court. They will ask you the card, they will ask you the identification or identity from the embassy, whether you are an officiary from the embassy. We are not officiary, we are volunteers. But if I am an agent or an official from the government, we will work more. Even in those issues that arises that requires the embassy officials on the ground. So that is why we need to have a consulate or an embassy in Bahrain. And also because of the people, 7,000, they require more attention from the government. Yes.
So thank you so much, George, and thank you so much all the embassy representatives who have been working in Bahrain. Really, we have a lot of questions, but we will need to have a sit down and talk about the Kenyan embassy in Kuwait and how it is helping us in Bahrain. This is a topic that we need, like a whole topic. And if anybody has any questions that you would want me to ask, please feel free to write out to me and let me know, because we really need to know what's up. Because in the beginning they said that we need to have around 3,000 Kenyans in Bahrain so that we can have a consulate. Now we are 7,000. So we need to know where are we heading to.